There is this horrible Old Testament story in the book of Judges in chapter 19. I preached on this one time, and my church looked at me and just shook their heads because it's tough to hear. The story is, it's not sweet. It's not going to make you feel good, but it's in the Bible and it's certainly true. But to sum it up as quick as I can, the Bible says there's a man, he's a Levite, and this Levite man is traveling to Bethlehem, and he's traveling with his concubine, and a concubine would be called a secondary wife. Um, I, I'm not approving of that. um, it's all the married men watching this are like, one wife's enough, brother. So, um, but the Israelites did this. They went against God's will, and they had concubines where it was just not it was not godly, but nevertheless it was happening. And the Bible says this Levite and this concubine are traveling across the country, and they're trying to go to Bethlehem, and they cannot find a place to stay, and they're going town to town, and finally they come to this Israelite town, and they get there, and no one will take them in. Um, and it's nighttime, and finally this older man comes to them and says, I'll let you stay with me. And so this older man takes them to their house, and they're inside, they're having a good time, getting rested up, and late in the evening, the door begins to be just pounded on by these men outside, and they're screaming and they're yelling, and they want the owner of the house to come outside. And so the man opens the door, goes outside, he talks to these men, and these men are demanding that he give them the Levite, to come outside so they can have sex with him. That's what the Bible says. And the man that owns the house is like, I can't let you do that. This guy's a guest in my house. And I would love to stop there, and I would love to say that this man stood up for what was right and said, there's no way that's happening. You're not doing that. But crazily, just unspeakably, this man says, you know what? Don't do that to my guest, but you can have my virgin daughter. And you can have his concubine too. And you can do whatever you want with them. And they take him up on his offer, and they demand the concubine from the house. And so they take the concubine, they put her outside, and the Bible says graphically and vividly that these men outside of that house, they raped this girl all night long. They abused her. And the Bible just tells horrifyingly that this young girl, this concubine, she crawls up to the front door when they're done, and she lays there and she dies. That's how badly she was abused. And while you and I can sit out there today, and we can think to ourselves, how in the world could that man have done that? How in the world could he have allowed that to happen? Both of them inside the house, they did nothing. And it makes me angry, and it blows my mind. But my question for you today was, where was everybody else? Where were they to stand up for her? The town, the neighbors, the people that knew this was happening, and they did nothing. I want to just challenge you for a moment here, and I'll be done. I want to challenge you to stand up for what is right. Because some of you see a lot of bad things going on around you. There's things that are going on in your family. There's things that are going on at your work. There are things that you're putting up with that you should not be putting up with. There are things that people are doing to you that you should never, ever take. Ever. And I want you and I, as people, as Christians, to stand up for the innocent. To stand up for the people that have no voice. To fight for what is right. and take care of those that are being hurt and exploited. I don't know what that is for you today. I have no clue. But I know that I'm tired of seeing the bad things going around me. And it's time for me to do a better job and to stand up for what I know is true, right, and real. Thank you for watching. I love you all. And as always, I ask you to be the church. Thanks.